The HOA's trespass onto my ranch was something no family should ever face. They demanded we leave, all because our freshly painted red barn was too red for their aesthetic. But their power trip ended when my crew paid them a visit, shutting them down for good. It began with 3 men striding onto my land like they owned it. Black windbreakers, plastic badges, fake tactical boots with clean soles, cosplay enforcers with no real authority. They moved like they were there to crush something, but they'd wandered into the wrong pasture. "Dad?" Wyatt said from the porch. Granola bar paused mid-bite, squinting at the sun. "Did we miss the HOA's extortion fee? Or is this just cosplay day?" He grinned, but his eyes were tense. "So were mine." The leader, clipboard in hand, mirrored shades, jaw clenched like he'd rehearsed it, slapped an orange notice on our gate like it was a crime scene. "Final eviction warning," he barked, loud enough to startle the chickens. "You have 72 hours to comply with HOA Ordinance 14.3. I stepped off the porch, boots hitting dirt hard, hands still red with paint from the barn. The bright, defiant red she loved. "Comply with what?" I asked, voice steady, keeping my temper in check. He pointed lazily at the barn. "Article 7.3. Unapproved visual obstruction. Color outside the authorized palette." Wyatt scoffed. "Seriously? Are we in a crayon cult now?" The second guy, wiry and tense, clutched his clipboard like a shield. "You've ignored 5 notices. Non-compliance breaches community cohesion." I turned slowly. "Son, the last time someone preached community cohesion that loud, they were in uniform, and they didn't mean it kindly." He blinked, lost. The third guy stayed silent, filming with his phone, barn, porch, fence, Wyatt. "Hey!" Wyatt snapped, voice sharpening. "Don't film me." I moved fast, stepping between them, my shadow swallowing the guy. "Want footage? Film the no trespassing sign at the road." He lowered the phone, barely. Shades shifted. "Sir, we're conducting standard enforcement. You're 3 strangers on private land pointing cameras at a kid," I said. "Standard ended when you crossed my fence." Wyatt muttered, "This is why I keep saying we need a dog." "You're the dog," I said. "Just don't bite hard enough yet." He smirked, but fear flickered in his eyes, new and raw. Clipboard guy pulled another paper. "This authorizes remediation, including seizure of non-compliant structures." "The barn?" I asked. "Among others," he replied. I stepped closer, smelling his office cologne. "This barn," I said, voice icy, "was built by my wife by hand in summer heat before your houses existed." He didn't care. The silent guy ran a hand along the barn's fresh red paint, smearing it under his fingers. "You've got 72 hours to make it beige," he said low. "Or someone else will." He tapped the wall twice. That tap echoed in my skull like a coffin lid. Wyatt whispered, "Did he just threaten a paint job or declare war?" I didn't answer, I knew. They climbed into their SUV, driving off slowly, like victors. But Shades snapped one last photo. Not of the barn or fence, but the upstairs window, her old room. I didn't sleep. Paced, checked locks, watched headlights that never turned in. Every creak was a warning, every silence a trap. At midnight, Wyatt joined me on the porch. "They coming back?" he asked. "I think they never left," I said. Next morning, Loretta Vance arrived. Clipboard, blinding smile, voice dripping with "You've already lost." No knock, no call, just her premium SUV rolling past the gate. White shoes, spotless, like the dirt obeyed her. "Dad," Wyatt muttered from the barn doorway, wiping sweat. "We've got a Loretta incoming." She stopped at the barn, tilting her head like a detective at a solved crime, then flashed a guilty smile. "Mason," she sang. "Good morning." I descended the steps slowly, boots heavy. "Loretta, lost or just trespassing with style?" "Routine compliance visit," she said, handing me a folder like a gift. Inside, photos of my barn, porch, house, zoomed, labeled, dated. One showed Wyatt on a ladder painting, grinning. She tapped it. "City approved exterior paint?" Bought from Hank's Hardware, I said. Didn't know it needed your royal seal. She smiled tighter. Local stores don't always sell code-compliant finishes. Wyatt scoffed. Should we have ordered from the throne? Loretta ignored him, flipping to a photo of my wife, paint on her cheek, laughing, a gut punch. You repainted recently, Loretta said, unfazed. That resets the compliance timeline. The barn's no longer grandfathered. It's non-compliant. Color, structural encroachment, adjacency setbacks. Wyatt stepped up. You mean it's too red? Too visible, Loretta said, eyeing him like a nuisance. It disrupts Cedar Valley's tone. People move here for peace, order. Not us, her silence screamed. You're lucky, she added. The board gave you a warning, not a fine. Repaint in 48 hours, and we'll waive penalties. Wasn't it 72 yesterday? Wyatt asked. Timelines depend on attitude, she said. I stared. You think spelling zoning gives you power? I don't think it, she said. I have it. This property's on transitional overlay land. You're holding back expansion. The truth. Not paint, but land. Money. Who's paying you? I asked. Her smile widened. You think you're the first holdout I've dealt with? I've relocated veterans, farmers, families with generations buried here. She stepped closer. You think grief gives you leverage? That a barn makes you untouchable. Her voice sharpened. Your wife died in an accident, a mistake you're running from. Stop punishing Cedar Valley for it. Wyatt flinched. So did I. I took one step. Mention her again, and I forget this is a conversation. Her smile faltered. 48 hours, she said, backing off. Then the removal order proceeds, with outside enforcement if needed. Like yesterday's goons? Wyatt asked. She didn't answer, just drove off, her car a monument to arrogance. Wyatt stood silent. She knew about Mom. She used it, I said. She's gonna win, isn't she? I looked at the barn, its red fading in the sun, my wife's laugh in its beams. No, I said, but she'll make it hurt. Wyatt touched the barn, gentle, like it was alive. That night, I stared at an old number on my phone, Rusty's. I didn't dial, but it rang. Unknown caller. I answered, silent. Visitors today? Rusty's rough voice asked. Yeah, I said. Dropped a folder. She smiled. I almost laughed. I think it's time. I'll be there by morning, he said. The past was coming home. The ranch was too quiet. No hammering, no Wyatt's off-key singing. Quiet on a ranch is a warning. In the shed, Wyatt stood before my old army trunk, holding my cut. Black stitching, skull and scythe, faded but sharp. You wore this, he said. For real. I didn't answer. The weight choked me. Tucker said you did crazy stuff. Recon rides, Rusty, that night. He looked up. You never told me about her, about you. Put it down, I said, voice cracking. I just want to understand why you buried this. Why you're scared to call for backup. Wyatt. He set the cut down, gentle like a photo. She died because of them, didn't she? You were late, she went after you, and you've carried it since. I froze. You don't wear her ring anymore. That hit hard, not untrue, but too raw to explain. She wasn't supposed to be there, I said. I told her to stay home. She tracked my phone, rode out alone, took 2 rounds saving me. Wyatt stood still. Last thing she said was, "You're not dying today." At her funeral, Rusty gave me that cut. I told him to burn it. But you kept it, Wyatt said, to remind me what it cost. He looked at the barn. You think painting it keeps her here? No, I said. It's what she built. You could wear it again, he said. Just once to show them. If I wear it, I don't take it off. Hammering interrupted. Wyatt on a ladder, fixing a cracked barn panel. The ladder tipped. He crashed, arms split open, blood smearing the red siding. I froze, the image searing, barn bleeding. You okay? I asked, kneeling. Fine, he lied, blood pooling. We bandaged him inside. On the porch, he stared at the barn. I wanted to fix it. Make them back off. They won't, I said. This is war, isn't it? I didn't answer, but dialed Rusty. Tucker arrived like a conspiracy theorist's fever dream. Truck backfiring, bumper wired, stickers screaming. If it's not illegal, it should be. Wyatt peered out. Is that a flamethrower? Leaf blower, Tucker yelled. Modified. He spilled laptops, flash drives, and a burrito on the table. I brought juice, he said. His screen showed HOA bylaws, then shell companies. Brightwood Preservation Council, Maple Trust, Vantage Development Incorporated, all tied to Drexel Consolidated Holdings. Wyatt frowned. Fraud. Old-school layered fraud, Tucker said. Loretta's a plant, paid by Drexel's trust. The HOA's fake. Disbanded in 2017. Kept alive for enforcement. A drone map marked our ranch as final holdout, with a helipad planned. Wyatt's voice thinned. Helicopters in our backyard? A proposal read, Maple Hills Estates, our ranch labeled for eminent domain. Wyatt said, they're deleting us. Corporate warfare, Tucker said. You sure about Rusty? No, I said. But I'm done fighting like a farmer. Wyatt stood tall. Fight like who you were. Rusty's crew arrived at dawn. For riders, no headlights, dust trails. Rusty led on his chipped Indian bike, Reaper etched on the tank. Behind him, Hawk, Sparrow, Knox, men who carried her casket. Wyatt whispered, they look like a western where everyone dies. Rusty dismounted, eyeing the barn's blood-streaked siding. You let it get this far? I nodded. Didn't start it. He stepped close. But you're in it. Neck deep. Inside, Wyatt eyed Rusty. You look more TikTok than takedown, Rusty said. You look like an unsolved mystery in leather. Wyatt shot back. Rusty smirked. Got fire. The crew turned the barn into a war room, blueprints, photos, sensors. Tucker rigged drones. Wyatt helped. Rusty and I walked the line. This is bigger than your land, he said. Drexel wants to erase her. The fire in my chest flared. We bury him in memory. By the fire pit, Hawk raised a cup to her. She was the best of us. We left her out there. Guilt hung heavy. Wyatt sat close. You were different with them. I was built with them, I said. The patch means we never stop carrying. I stitched it back on, thread by thread. In the barn, the crew stood straighter. Wyatt smiled, proud. The plan was reckless but tight. We hit the HOA clubhouse at sunset, Rusty parking behind trimmed arborvitae. Wyatt adjusted his gloves nervously. You good? Yep, he lied. Hawk picked the lock. Tucker looped cameras. Inside, lemon-scented air choked us. Wyatt cracked the server room code. 867-5309. Loretta's account was open. She didn't think anyone'd break in, I said. Wyatt ran Tucker's script, but tripped an alarm. 2 minutes, Tucker hissed. Wyatt's hands shook, then steadied, transferring files. We escaped, but Loretta's flashlight caught us. Evening, she said, lip curled. Lost. Checking the lighting, I said. It's war now, she hissed. War was last week, I said. This is cleanup. Her gaze burned as we walked away. Back at the ranch, Tucker's screens exploded with fraud. Fake permits, forged ballots, Loretta's emails with Drexel. Neutralize Kellers by Q4. Tucker sent it all, press, residents, county attorney, Cedar Valley's Facebook group. Wyatt watched. Did we win? I eyed the barn's bloodied siding. Halftime. At 6 a.m., Loretta arrived with cruisers and a warrant. Sheriff Langston held it. Search for cybercrimes, data theft, tampering. Loretta smirked. We're taking Wyatt Hayes for questioning. Rusty laughed. You joking? Protecting Cedar Valley, she said. Wyatt flinched. Why me? Langston cited a motion naming Wyatt for the server breach. That's Tucker's rig, Rusty muttered. Loretta taunted. You should have taken the settlement, Mason. Officers boxed Wyatt, Indiana. Dad, he said, voice breaking. Hold your head up. I said. I'll fix this. They drove off. Rusty slammed the post. Why stand down? If we escalate, we lose, I said. I stared at her photo, her grin, paint on her jeans. She'd have burned the courthouse. The town hall was Loretta's stage, clipboard, slideshow, buzzwords. We were in the utility tunnel, Wyatt's idea, signal boosted. At 6:58 p.m., Tucker hijacked the stream. Loretta's voice echoed, "Thank you for being here." The projector glitched, showing Drexel's contract signed by Loretta. Fake rezoning. Her voice, "Remove the haze. Dominoes fall." Tucker boomed, "Enjoy the show, neighbors." Residents gasped. "That's my signature, altered," one said. I entered, patch on. Evening. Missed the first act. Loretta pointed. "He's trespassing." Langston stepped in. "Mr. Hayes has a right to respond. These implicate crimes." Wyatt walked in, flash drive in hand. "You left your password on a sticky note." Laughter erupted. Tucker sent the full archive to every phone. Loretta's fraud exposed. She dropped the mic, hissing, "You'll regret this." "Already did," I said. "Your turn." Langston arrested her for fraud, conspiracy, tampering. The crowd cheered as she was led out. At 12:07, Drexel arrived, 6 black SUVs, no plates. His men fanned out, tactical, no badges. Drexel stepped out, suit, gloves, funeral face. "Hayes thought you'd folded. Buried my wife here. Got back up," I said. He eyed Wyatt, drone controls in hand. "You're broadcasting," Wyatt said. 40,000 viewers. Drexel offered a buyout. "You're outnumbered, outfinanced," he said, dropping a contract. I ignored it. Sparrow triggered smoke. Hawk buzzed drones. Rusty wielded a net launcher. Tucker uploaded Drexel's accounts, bribes, filings. A woman shouted, "You're done!" Langston and feds arrived, cuffing Drexel for racketeering, fraud, bribery. He watched me as they drove off, silent. We repainted the barn Tuesday, same red, bold. Hers. Wyatt chose it, painting with purpose, flecks in his hair. Rusty brought burgers, Hawk a wolf weathervane. "It's us," he said. "Still here." On the porch, Wyatt stitched my patch, steady, his now. Tucker lit sparklers. We watched them burn like fireflies free of the HOA. Wyatt tied her bandana on his wrist, silent. I saw her, paint on her jeans, laughing. She'd love this ending. Wyatt leaned on me, breathing easy. The ground settled. We weren't surviving, we were rooted. Tomorrow we'd fix the roof, then the fence, maybe Wyatt's shed. The barn stood. The land was ours. They tried to tear us down, but only reminded us who we are.